Amahle is a smart and hardworking student living in Enugu. She doesn't come from much, but she dreams big and works even harder. Every night, after long classes, she works late shifts at a local diner. On weekends, she sits by the roadside or posts online to sell her handmade beaded jewelry. Every naira she makes goes to one thing: supporting her boyfriend, Kwame, through medical school. She believes love means sacrifice. She believes they are building a future together, brick by brick. When he succeeds, they succeed. People often ask her why she's always tired, why she gives so much. She smiles and says, "It's our dream. We're in this together." When Kwame is low on fees, she takes loans. When he needs textbooks or rent, she finds a way. Even when her own needs pile up, tuition, bills, her health, she puts him first. Because love, right? But behind Kwame's charming smile is a truth Amahle doesn't see yet. While she's hustling, he's living a double life. He's telling his classmates he's self-sponsored, telling another girl he's single. While Amahle counts coins to buy him food, he's out at lounges, laughing like he's free of struggle. Amahle thinks they're building dreams. But Kwame? He's building a lie so big, it's only a matter of time before it all comes crashing down. And when it does, so much more than money will be lost. As the months pass, Kwame starts to change. At first, it's little things. He stops texting back quickly, stops saying thank you when Amahle sends him money, stops calling her my love. Amahle notices but tells herself he's just stressed with school. Medical school is tough, right? She keeps working late shifts, selling jewelry, even skipping meals just to make sure he never lacks. But deep down, something feels off. Kwame starts dressing differently, talking differently, acting like someone else. He no longer invites Amahle to his school events or study groups. When she visits, he's distant, always busy or in a rush. The warmth in his eyes? Gone. One day, Amahle finally asks, "Are we okay? You've been so cold lately." And with a straight face, he says, "You're not on my level anymore." Those words hit her like a slap. The same girl who carried his dreams, who took loans in her name for his school fees, is now being told she's beneath him. No apology. No explanation. Just pride and coldness. A few weeks later, she hears the news from a friend: Kwame is now dating someone new. Not just anyone, but the daughter of one of his lecturers. She's from a rich family, always polished, always perfect. Amahle scrolls through social media and sees pictures of them together, smiling, matching outfits, like they've been in love forever. And just like that, Amahle is left with nothing but a shattered heart and a stack of loan papers. Debts in her name. Receipts of every sacrifice she made. She stares at the documents, her hands shaking, wondering how love turned into a transaction she never agreed to. No calls. No explanation. Just silence from the man she gave everything to. While Kwame prepares for graduation, Amahle is left cleaning up the mess alone. Her love built his future, but now she's the one stuck with the bills. The pain is deep, but somewhere inside her, something else is starting to rise, not just sadness but fire. Because if this is rock bottom, there's only one. Amahle cries for days. Real, heavy tears that come from deep pain. She doesn't eat much. Her bed becomes her hiding place. The silence in her room feels louder than ever. She replays everything, every moment she stood by Kwame, every naira she gave, every time she believed in a future that was never real. The betrayal cuts deep, not just because he left, but because he used her and walked away like she meant nothing. But one morning, as sunlight slips through the window, something shifts. Amahle sits up, wipes her tears, and grabs her journal, the same one where she once wrote dreams for both of them. She crosses his name out. Then she turns to a fresh page and writes, "It's my time now." She begins to research. She applies for scholarships, even the small ones. She signs up for free online courses to build her skills. She sends emails, fills out forms, writes personal statements late into the night. Every rejection hurts, but she keeps going. She starts calculating, not just money, but steps, what she needs to do, who she needs to become. Her pain? It becomes her fuel. She picks up extra hours at work, saves every little coin, and even starts a small TikTok page to promote her jewelry. Slowly, people start buying. Slowly, her inbox fills with replies: "Congratulations, you've been shortlisted. We'd like to interview you. Welcome to our internship program." People around her begin to notice the change. She walks taller. She's still heartbroken, yes, but she's also focused. She's not waiting for anyone to save her. She's becoming her own rescue. Amahle's days are full again, not of giving to someone else, but of pouring into herself. The girl who once gave everything to build someone else's dream is now building her own. It's not easy. She still cries sometimes. But now after the tears, she opens her laptop and gets back to work. Because Amahle has learned something powerful. She may have been left behind, but she's not staying there. Her comeback has already begun. Amahle doesn't expect to see anyone from Kwame's world again, especially not someone like Sefu. He was always that quiet, brilliant guy in Kwame's class, the one who spoke with confidence but never showed off. The two of them were academic rivals, always competing for the top spot. Amahle had seen him a few times in the past, always from a distance, and honestly, she never paid much attention. But now things are different. She meets him again at a leadership boot camp she got into after applying months ago. At first, she's nervous. It's a new environment, filled with smart, driven people. She's just beginning to rebuild herself, still carrying the weight of her past. But during a group activity, she's placed in the same team as Sefu. She's surprised when he turns to her and says, "I've read your scholarship essay. It was incredible." Amahle blinks. "You noticed?" Over the next few days, they talk more. Not just small talk, but real conversations about goals, struggles, purpose. Sefu listens. Really listens. He never once brings up Kwame, but somehow he seems to understand what she's been through. He tells her, "You're doing amazing, Amahle. You think small because life forced you to, but your mind? It's made for more." That one sentence shakes something loose inside her. No one has ever spoken to her like that, not even Kwame. She starts seeing herself through new eyes. Maybe she can do more. Maybe she deserves more. Sefu doesn't try to fix her or rush her healing. He simply shows up, every group session, every lunch break, every brainstorming challenge with quiet encouragement and respect. He asks about her jewelry business and offers marketing ideas. He even connects her to someone running a mentorship program for young women. Amahle feels a spark, not just of attraction but of possibility. For the first time in a long time, she doesn't feel used or invisible. She feels seen. She feels valued. And though her heart is still healing, something new is starting to grow. Amahle is finally starting to feel like herself again. Strong, focused, and full of quiet fire. Every morning she wakes up with purpose. With Sefu's guidance and support, she's not just dreaming. She's planning, applying, building. He sends her links to scholarships, helps her practice interview answers, even reviews her application essays late into the night. But he never does the work for her. He reminds her, "You've got this. You always did." She applies for a competitive master's program abroad, not expecting much. When the acceptance email comes, along with a full scholarship, Amahle stares at the screen in shock. She reads the words over and over again, tears falling down her cheeks. Full tuition. Living expenses covered. A fresh start. After everything, after all the heartbreak and humiliation, she's finally getting what she deserves. Not because someone gave it to her, but because she earned it. She calls her mom, crying and laughing at the same time. "Mama, they said yes. I got it." Her mom's voice breaks with pride. "I always knew you were meant for more." Meanwhile, back in Kwame's world, things aren't so pretty. Word spreads that he's been caught in a cheating scandal at the hospital. Caught falsifying patient reports and texting multiple women, including nurses and even a patient's relative. The hospital launches an investigation, and the lecturer's daughter? She dumps him without looking back. His perfect little image starts to fall apart. The same charm he once used to climb now works against him. People whisper. Friends distance themselves. And just like that, the high horse he once rode becomes a lonely place to fall from. Amahle hears about it, but she doesn't celebrate. She's too busy packing her bags, getting her passport ready, buying second-hand suitcases for a new journey. She's not looking back anymore. Her eyes are set on bigger things, on healing, learning, and becoming the woman she was always meant to be. Sefu gives her a small journal B. Amahle stands in front of the mirror, adjusting her graduation cap with trembling hands. Her eyes well up as she looks at the reflection staring back at her, a woman who has walked through fire and come out shining. From the late-night shifts in Enugu to lonely, tear-filled nights after Kwame left, to now, graduating summa cum laude at one of the most prestigious universities abroad. It feels like a dream, but every step here was real. Every sacrifice. Every sleepless night. Every no that pushed her to try again. She walks across the stage in her purple and gold gown, head held high. Her name is called Amahle Nkemdelemokoro, valedictorian, class of excellence. The auditorium erupts in applause, but for her, everything slows down. In that moment, she's not just a graduate. She's a survivor. A fighter. A woman who chose herself. As the keynote speaker, Amahle steps up to the podium. The lights are bright, the crowd is massive, but she speaks with calm strength. There was a time I thought my worth depended on who I was helping or who I was loving, she says. But pain taught me something beautiful. When you invest in yourself, you rise. And when you rise, nobody can take it from you. The audience is silent, then they stand. A standing ovation. Cameras flash. Phones record. A few people even wipe their eyes. The next day, her story is everywhere. Newspapers and blogs run the headline, "The girl who funded her ex, and still rose higher." Her inbox fills with interview requests, speaking invitations, and messages from girls across Africa saying, "You gave me hope." Amahle scrolls through the comments, not out of pride, but in quiet disbelief. She can't believe that the same story that once broke her is now inspiring others. She calls her mom, who screams with joy. She video calls Sefu, who beams with pride, clapping in the middle of his office. "Top of your class, Amahle. Top of the world." And just like that, Amahle finally understands what she thought was the end. The hall is packed. Families, professors, journalists, and proud students fill every seat, waiting for the final speaker, Amahle. Her name is now well known across campus. Not just for her grades, but for her journey. The story of the girl who once sacrificed everything for someone else, only to rise even higher when left behind. Amahle steps onto the stage in a sleek, custom gown, glowing from head to toe. Her hair is wrapped in a bold, beautiful gelly. Her voice is steady, her words powerful. "I once thought love was about losing yourself for someone else," she says, pausing. "But the greatest love I ever found was the one I gave back to myself." The room goes silent. You could hear a pin drop. Even the cameras pause, like they're listening too. She continues, telling them about her small jewelry hustle, the late-night shifts, the loans she took for someone who walked away, and how she almost gave up. But didn't. Instead, she rose. She rebuilt. And she conquered. In the crowd, Sefu watches her with quiet pride. His eyes never leave her. He's been there through the healing, the hard work, the messy middle. And now he's watching her shine in full. But also in the audience, sitting awkwardly in the back row, is Kwame. Jobless. Reputation damaged. Face tight with regret. He didn't expect to see her up there. And he definitely didn't expect the room to love her this much. His former classmates barely notice him. They're too busy clapping, cheering, recording Amahle's speech. When the event ends, Amahle walks off the stage to thunderous applause. She heads toward Sefu, who's waiting with open arms. No words, just a proud smile, the kind that says, "You did it." She reaches for his hand. They walk out of the hall together, fingers intertwined. Cameras follow them, lights flashing, microphones being pushed toward her face. But Amahle doesn't flinch. She walks confidently, knowing the world is watching, but more importantly, knowing she's walking into the future with Samio. It happens one afternoon, just weeks after Amahle's graduation speech goes viral. She's sitting at a cafe, sipping on a smoothie and answering emails on her laptop when she hears someone call her name. She looks up and there he is. Kwame. The same man who left her with heartbreak and debt. But now he looks different. Not the confident future doctor she once knew. He looks tired. Nervous. Humbled. "Amahle," he says, forcing a smile. "You look amazing." She closes her laptop slowly and leans back in her chair, calm and unbothered. "Hello, Kwame." He starts talking fast, like he's been rehearsing. He says he's sorry. Says he was young and confused. That he didn't know what he had. That he's been thinking about her ever since. He mentions how his life hasn't been the same, how things went downhill after they broke up. He even tries to joke, "You were the smart one all along, huh?" Amahle listens politely, her face calm. But inside, she feels none of the old pain. No anger. No longing. Just peace. When he finally stops talking, hoping for forgiveness or maybe even a second chance, Amahle reaches into her bag and pulls out a small brochure. She places it gently on the table between them. It reads, "Career Counseling, for Men Who Lost a Good Woman." Kwame stares at it, blinking. He doesn't know what to say. Amahle smiles, not out of spite, but from strength. "Take care of yourself," she says softly, picking up her bag. She walks out without looking back, her heels clicking confidently on the pavement. That moment isn't about revenge. It's about closure. She doesn't need to shout or prove anything. Her life speaks for itself now. She's thriving. She's glowing. And she's no longer the girl who begged to be loved. Kwame is left sitting alone, staring at the brochure in silence, finally realizing what he lost. Amahle, on the other hand, walks into the sunlight, her heart light and her future wide open. Revenge? No. This is better. This is healing with style. Justy. Amahle could have just moved on, enjoyed her success quietly, and left the past behind. But deep down, she knew there were thousands of girls out there just like she once was, girls working 2 jobs, giving up their own dreams, pouring everything into someone else's future and being left with nothing. That memory never left her. So instead of closing that chapter, she turned it into something powerful. One evening, while sitting with Sefu at their favorite rooftop spot, she brought up an idea. What if we helped girls like me, she said. Girls who support their partners through school but end up forgotten? Sefu didn't even hesitate. Let's do it, he said. Let's build something that lasts. Together, they launched the Amahle Rise Fund, a scholarship program created especially for young women who've sacrificed their education to support someone else's. It wasn't just about money. It came with mentorship, career coaching, and a network of women helping each other rise. Within weeks, applications started pouring in. Stories that felt all too familiar, girls who gave up school fees so their boyfriends could finish a semester. Girls who were told to wait their turn. Girls who were used, then tossed aside. Amahle read every story with tears in her eyes and fire in her chest. The press couldn't get enough of it. Magazine covers, talk shows, online interviews, her face was everywhere, with headlines like, "From Heartbreak to Hope," and she paid his fees, then funded her own destiny. But Amahle didn't do it for fame. She did it for every girl who ever felt like her pain had no purpose. At scholarship award ceremonies, she would stand before rooms full of bright-eyed young women and say, "You are not foolish for loving someone. But never forget to love yourself too. Never forget that your dreams matter just as much." Sefu, always by her side, watched with pride. Together, they weren't just building dreams, they were building a movement. A future where no girl has to choose. The stage lights are warm and the room is full, hundreds of young women sitting shoulder to shoulder at a leadership summit in Nairobi. They've come from villages, towns, cities, some with notebooks in hand, others with tears already in their eyes. And right there at the front, standing tall in a flowing ankara gown, is Amahle. No nerves. Just grace, strength, and truth. She takes a slow breath before she begins. "A few years ago," she says, "I thought my life was over. I was heartbroken, broke, and alone. I had given everything, my money, my time, even my dreams, to someone who left without looking back. But life had other plans." The room is silent, hanging on her every word. She tells them about working night shifts, making handmade jewelry, supporting a man who told her she wasn't good enough. She shares how she cried, how she doubted herself, and how she almost gave up. But then she chose herself. Chose to rise. To start again. Now she looks around the room at all the young women with fire in their eyes and dreams in their hearts. "He got a degree," she says, her voice steady, "but I got a destiny." The room erupts. Applause. Cheers. Some girls are crying. Some are standing already, fists in the air. And Amahle just smiles, knowing that this exact moment is what it was all for. Not revenge. Not validation. But purpose. She steps down from the stage, and as the crowd rushes forward to meet her, one thing is clear: Amahle didn't just survive her past. She transformed it, and now she's helping others do the same.